Term limits. There's an idea that we can all get behind. Term limits. The idea that politicians shouldn't stay in office forever. These politicos that stay in for 10, 15, 20 years, they get really comfortable. They get comfortable with your money. When we decided to term limit the Arlington City Council last year, we did it because we knew it was a movement that everybody would get behind. It was a winning fight, if you will. Everyone from around the country, when they found out that we were going to term limit the Arlington City Council, we started getting support from all over. Areas like Philly, for example. People were sending us things, wanting us to spread the message of term limits, because it's such a simple idea. The fight that happened in Arlington last year was somewhat of a David versus Goliath fight. That wasn't my phrase, that was what other people called what happened in our city. You see, in Arlington, we have politicians that they've been in office since I was 10. That's a little long. Our opponents had everything. They had money. They had clout. They spent over $400,000 trying to defeat this proposition. By all accounts, with that much money, you should win, right? But the thing is that term limits it's fun. It's one of these things that you bring people together, and that's exactly what we did in Arlington. See, what we found is that it didn't take money to get this through. It took people power. It took inspiration. It took people and energy, motivation. We were pulling people together from all over the city. Firefighters, police officers. We had the NAACP on our board. We had the U.S. term limits campaign. Everybody wanted to be part of the term limits movement. We worked with some really, really awesome patriots, people who believed in fundamental ideas like democracy and free speech and fairness. There we go. We collected over 12,000 signatures in record time, 10 weeks. We had over 100 volunteers doing this. This wasn't a money game. This was a game of energy. It was a game of focus. It was a game of numbers. It was about every day getting up and figuring out how many signatures did we need to collect this day in order to hit our target. And we hit it. And they didn't like it. We managed to do this in record time. We sat in front of our judicial systems. We sat in front of our libraries, our city halls, our county commissioners' courts, and as people came out, we asked them, we said, do you want to support term limits? And they said, hell yeah, let me come over here and sign that. We had people signing our petition, and they were saying, how do we get this on Congress? And I said, I can't help you there. But we can do it on our city. So we turned this in July. If you couldn't tell, we were taking pictures with the camera that still puts a timestamp on photos. But it was a fight. Nonetheless, it was a fight because the minute that they saw that we had successfully collected the signatures we needed to put this on the ballot, they turned nasty. They turned real nasty, in fact. I was assaulted. They were going around telling people, handing them flyers saying, if you sign this petition, the sky's going to fall, the roads are going to crumble, your taxes are going to go up, and crime's going to go through the roof, your mom's going to get mugged in the street. These were the messages that they were sending out. They attempted to hijack our petition. They attempted to put a watered-down version of term limits onto the ballot, and we had to fight that. I had to actually go to court and get a restraining order against our city council for their illegal behavior. We were leading a fight, and that's what we had to do. Without money, all you really have is energy and whatever fight you have within you. And I made sure every day that I was leading our volunteers that I stood boldly in front of them and said, we're going to win. This is a winning fight. It's a little hard to tell what this says, but it says, vote no extreme term limits. Let's develop a smarter plan. I had to use this photo here because the minute that they lost, my opponents went and took down all of their campaign literature. But if I could share one little tip with you, don't take a photo with your supporters holding a white poster board, because some sneaky little muckraker like myself is going to Photoshop that. And we're going to make that just a little bit better. Now, the funny thing about this is that this, to all of us, is a joke. But the guy up there in the upper left-hand corner with the blue shirt, oh, he didn't like that. He didn't like this at all. He was going to sue me. Yeah, I'm going to sue you over a photo that is clearly a parody. So I had to change it a little bit and make sure it was clear that it was a parody. Now, as you can probably imagine, they were not happy. Have you ever had your mom call you by your first, your middle, and your last name, and she's giving you this look when you go in front of her? This embodies the nature of our opponents. They were just mean. They were nasty. I was called a racist. I was called an extremist. I was called everything under the sun except domestic terrorist, and I'm sure they called me that behind closed doors. I even have a hate group. How many of y'all have a Facebook group that is designed totally to hate on you that's got almost 300 people in it? I do. I wear it as a badge of honor. But they were mean. This lady right here actually came up to me and she goes, "You're evil." So I had to take that photo of her after the fact because I just couldn't believe somebody would walk up to somebody they don't know and say that. And she, by the way, she's the assistant to our Chamber of Commerce president. Good people leading our city. But we had a winning message. We kept it simple. We kept it friendly. We kept it positive. Vote for term limits. Who's not for that? We had a deal where I always told everybody, if you're taking a picture, give it a thumbs up. Give it a big smile. We kept the message simple. We had these shirts. He's not wearing one, but we had these shirts that just said #team term limits. That's it. No graphics, no nothing like that. We had red, we had blue. If you're red, get a, or if you're Republican, get a red. If you're Democrat, get a blue. It was a simple message. And we had awesome guys like Scott who were out there in the rain. I asked Scott, I said, "Scott, can I get you an umbrella?" He said, No, I'm good. I'm good right here because it gets me a little bit of pity from the voters. Not that we needed that. But even then, in the face of such extreme anger from our opponents, we still found room to unify. And I think that that's what's most important, is that you got to make sure that you don't turn your opposition into your enemy like they did us. We kept it very positive. We told people, be nice. Don't do to them what they do to us. It was truly an incredible movement. I'm a Republican, and one of the most amazing things about this is how I was able to reach across the aisle and work with people that I traditionally do not agree with on a political level. This is the progressive women of Arlington here. So it was a very, very fun movement. We did win last November by 25,000 votes. We only spent, thank you, we only spent just over 10,000, and it was really an amazing movement. So I want to leave you with something. The last thing I would tell you in all this is that when you are taking on a fight like this, you need to have fun with it, because they're going to do everything they can to make your life a living hell. And so one of the things we did is we told our supporters, we said, hey, you're getting all this really beautiful campaign literature from our opposition. We want to see how you can take photos of that. Just be creative. Show us the ways that you'll put their campaign literature to creative use. And as you can imagine, we ran the gambit on that. We had people sending us, mailers hanging out of trash cans, hanging out of vacuums. One person just sent us a mailer that was covered in dog shit. But as you can imagine, it's pretty easy to pick the winner. Thank you very much.